Alright, we're back with another video. Today we're going to be doing a redfish toad. So this guy right here, great little redfish pattern, simple to tie. So we're going to start out with a Ahrex SA 220 in the vise in the size 2. We got some blue Danville 140 denier. Just going to go ahead and do 8 wraps behind the eye. That's going to get us right about where we want to throw our eye. Now I'm going to use these medium size brass eyes today because I want to make a lighter pattern for a little shallower water, but any size eye that you want here is perfectly fine. So go ahead, get some wraps on this. Wraps going one way, wraps going the other. Get these good and secure on the top of her hook. A couple helicopter wraps under. That's good. I'm going to go ahead and we'll work our thread to the bend of the hook here. And we'll just go down the bend just slightly. Now we're going to grab a little bit of medium Cactus Chenille. I don't need too much here. Just a small piece of this Cactus Chenille. This is going to be our egg sac just on the back of the fly. Not a completely necessary step if you don't have it, but just a little extra something to get the fish interested in it, kind of break up some of the other colors on this fly. So we'll just do a couple wraps. Only 3 should be plenty there. We'll just go ahead and we'll capture that. We can cut out our excess. Alright. Good deal. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get a little bit of Mason hard mono. And we're going to put this on here to hold our piece of rabbit strip in place. If I can find my pliers. So we got our pliers, and all I'm going to do is just mash down on the end of this. Kind of make a flat point so I have a place that's going to tie in easily and won't slip on me. We're going to get that right here, the back of the fly. Tie that right in. Good deal. You kind of want to make sure that it's just going to line up straight with your hook too. It's not like crooked off to the side or something, just should be going straight back. So next thing we're going to do is grab our rabbit strips. You can see here I got this blue and green, I believe they call this key lime blue crab or something like that. And we're going to tie it with the fur facing towards the bend of the hook. So basically just tying it upside down. We're going to tie it in right here at the back of the fly. Good deal. Now we will take our bodkin. We'll go just a little bit down, maybe 3/4 of an inch or so. And we'll make a little hole in our rabbit fur. And we'll take our mono, if I can. Oop, lost my hole. The harder part of doing this. There we go. And we're going to get our mono going straight through our rabbit. We're going to pull our mono pretty tight kind of figure out just about how much we need so that the mono almost lays flat. We're going to take our pliers again and flatten off that area that we need. So once again, we have a nice little section that we can tie in that's not going to slip out. And go ahead and cut our excess away. So now we can go ahead and measure how much rabbit we want. I like to do about the length of the shank off the back. Somewhere about right here. Now we have our rabbit fur off the back. It's going to act as a claw or a little head to a shrimp, you know, whatever you want it to imitate. But now you can see, I mean, this is going to be able to wiggle all around the back, but it's never going to be able to come back here and really foul for you. Alright, so next thing we'll do, we'll get some eyes. These are our large crustacean eyes that we have on the site. Probably some of the best priced eyes you can get on the internet. So if you hate making eyes, I mean these are 100% the way to go. All we're going to do is just get them a little bit past our egg sac and tie them right in. Get a little bit of that stem in there so that those are nice and secure. And we'll do the same thing on the other side here. Don't worry about making a big bump here on the back. We're going to cover that up here in a second. Just get your two eyes. Try to get them as close to the same length as possible. There's a bunch of different methods for doing it, but find, you can eyeball it pretty easy. So once we have our two eyes on there, I'm just going to take each eye, kind of pull them out, and just do several wraps on the insides of them. Just to kind of get them to splay away from the hook a little bit. And see, now they're a little bit more splayed away from the hook on either side of that rabbit strap. Alright. So now we're going to grab a little bit of medium-sized Palmer chenille. This is the Palmer chenille that we sell on our site. I believe it's 15 millimeters, something like that. And this is tan. Again, break up the color just a little bit so not everything on this fly is blue and green. Tie that here on the back, get our hackle pliers, and we'll start palmering this towards the front of the fly. I kind of like to get one on the inside of each eye here, so I'm going to lift each eye, get this first wrap going between each eye, and then just one turn right after the other, just kind of stroking the fibers back as we go, trying to keep it straight as we can keep it. Let's go ahead and use this whole thing here, if I can re-grab it. That's good enough. And we'll capture that. Alright. Make sure we got a good little base here. And we'll wrap back on our Palmer chenille just a bit here. I like to be just about where my hook point is. As you can see, we kind of got a little bit of a little shrimpy vibe, crab vibe going there. Alright, now I'm going to take a just a little clip here, kind of hold some of this material back as we tie in our next step. So we're going to take some baitfish hair that I've cut into little sections, and we're going to tie that on the top of the hook shank here. So if you ever see me make crab bodies, we just do this little V shape. Just do 5 or 6 wraps going one way, kind of pull it back, and 5 or 6 wraps going the other way, just to make a nice little X. Finish it with a couple wraps in front. And we're going to be tying these on the top of the hook. Instead of most patterns, you see me tie them on the bottom of the hook. This is just so this blue shows through more here on the top of the fly. So between each tie-in of this baitfish hair, we're going to go ahead and tie in a Sili leg. The Sili leg is a blue crab coloration. It's got some tan and blue in it. We're just going to tie that in. Splay out on each side. And we'll just keep repeating this step. So this time we're going to go ahead and grab some blue baitfish hair. We're going to tie that in. And we're just going to keep repeating this exact same step. Another pair of legs, and another thing of baitfish hair until we get to the front of the fly. Go back to our green. We should end up about 4 legs on this one. I like to have at least 4. But, I mean, if you only get 3, depending on how big clumps and stuff you're using, that's fine. I mean, the redfish aren't really going to count how many legs you got on here. So, another section of blue. You can kind of see this segmented body here kind of starting to come together. So one more set of legs and one more bit of green. We'll be done with the body. couple wraps right in front of this, just make sure we're good. Put the thread up here. Alright, so now we got the body finished. We're going to pull all of our legs down, get them out of the way so that we can trim up our body. So we don't want to end up cutting any of our legs that we just worked hard to tie in there. Do your best not to capture too much fiber as you're doing this step. We're going to take our aqua pliers to kind of hold our legs down and just kind of pull some of these fibers out. You see we're trapping a whole bunch right there, and you just kind of do as best we can to get some of those free. There we go. That's fine. Now all we're going to do is just stand these up. And we're going to cut on an angle. Just make one nice cut. Do the same thing on the other side here. Perfect. Now just kind of smooth off the bottom. We're going to take a lighter and just kind of hit a lighter on the bottom. This will help not only make your pattern look a little neater, but it'll stop the legs from coming through on the bottom side. So your legs will eventually, once we do this on the top as well, your legs will be held in place on the sides. So we're going to go ahead, get our legs coming back down through again. And a couple fibers that we missed there. It's fine. And we're just going to hit the top with the lighter. And there's always going to be a couple little stragglers, so you just got to kind of cut those out with your scissors there. Alright. Now just add a little bit of durability to our body. We're going to take some UV resin. Just kind of coat our body right up to our eyes. This will help our legs stay in place. This will help our body keep a bunch of durability. Of a fly that lasts many, many, many fish. That with our light. We'll just go ahead, we'll measure the length of our body and kind of cut our legs to the length we want with that. And last step, if you want it, totally up to you, is just adding a wheat guard. So I'm going to cut another piece of Mason hard mono here. This is just 30 pound. Again, I'm going to mash down the end of it, give myself a little tie-in point. I'm going to tie it in here on the front. I'm going to bend it forward, and I'm going to put a good amount of wraps behind it to stand it up. When I got it standing up, I'm going to measure right back to the hook shank, or hook point, cut it off. So it's just barely touched the hook point when you bend it back. I'll go ahead and we'll whip finish in front of that. Hit it just slightly with our lighter, just kind of melt a little bit of that wax that's in the thread. And then we'll take a little bit of Loon UV Flow and we'll finish the thread wraps here at the head off. Get a little bit